Howdy folks, welcome to Live at the Lazy T Ranch. I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate. My wife Chris Wilson is doing video today. Today we're going to talk about youth organizations. We're out here at the ranch entrance because I want to talk about signs and really honor our youth organizations. First though, I need to make this statement, and that is that I think last week I talked about having a supper for the National Day of the Cowboy. For a variety of reasons, we've chosen not to do a supper. We're not going to have an in-person event here at the Lazy T Ranch. We need to make sure that everyone stays safe. But we are going to celebrate the National Day of the Cowboy, and I'm pleased that the entertainment that we had lined up is going to perform. We're going to record that, and we'll be presenting that in honor of the National Day of the Cowboy. So it's free. Maybe we'll post it here on Facebook Live, and we invite you to join us and celebrate the National Day of the Cowboy. Join us virtually and celebrate the National Day of the Cowboy on July 25. So I grew up here at the Lazy T Ranch, and my parents very much believed in involvement and in education. So when our kids were old enough, we joined 4-H, the Happy-Go-Lucky 4-H Club. When we came here, I joined the Cobb Valley 4-H Club, and that's where I finished. And then when I entered high school, I joined the FFA organization. And so when I joined FFA, I enrolled in agricultural education and became an FFA member. And when I got involved, I got this sign so that I could bring it out and post this exact sign out here on one of these exact poles to proclaim to the world that an FFA member lived here at this spot. Little did I know that over in the great state of Illinois, a lovely young lady was growing up on a beautiful farm, and she was active in 4-H there, and her family had a sign that said 4-H club member lives here. And eventually she agreed to let me marry her, and a generation later our kids would join both 4-H and FFA. So we've seen firsthand the benefits of these youth organizations that I want to say a word about today. Our kids finished as members of the Zinedale Club here in the Zinedale community. Those organizations, 4-H and FFA, both really started as organizations for farm kids, and they've changed through the years as times have changed, and now they serve both urban and rural students in different types of settings. When I think about 4-H, the 4-H organization in Kansas is sponsored by K-State Research and Extension. So 4-H nationally is tied to the extension service of the land-grant universities which serve the people. When I think of 4-H, I think of projects, I think of the monthly club meetings we had, of giving demonstrations and illustrated talks, and the county fair, the ultimate showcase for a young 4-H member to showcase what he or she has learned in 4-H. And when I think of FFA, FFA is really a membership organization, part of the agricultural education curriculum for students in high school ag ed classes at public high schools. And when I think of FFA, I think of contests, now called career development events, competitions, where we would attempt to apply the skills we'd learned in class. I think of conventions, and each student, each FFA member, is to have a supervised agricultural experience program where they would apply what they've learned into a career-related enterprise, be it on the farm, in agribusiness, agri-science, or any one of a whole range of programs that are possible for young men and women who are FFA members. Of course, the old joke is, as kids were so busy going to FFA contests and meetings and activities that the old-timers said FFA really stood for Father Farms Alone because the kids were off doing these FFA activities. The common threads between the 4-H and FFA organizations really are these. It's about youth development. It's about kids learning and exploring enterprises, careers, interests. It's about growth, personal growth. It's about involvement of the parents in these projects, a caring adult outside the family, be it an ag teacher, be it a 4-H leader, about learning to run meetings, but really working with people. To me, that's what leadership is all about. And ultimately, service. Service to your fellow members and service to your community. To me, that's what these organizations are all about. I could go on and on about 4-H and FFA, but the other reason I wanted to acknowledge the youth groups today is that we have an exciting new announcement. The Kansas Cowboy Poetry Contest is announcing its first ever virtual youth competition. So it's a cowboy poetry contest for 4-H members, FFA members, or any other youth 18 years or older or younger within the state of Kansas. So this is, and it will be virtual. And so what we're asking is young men and women of any age, 18 and younger, don't have to be a 4-H or FFA member, to write a Western themed poem and then record it on video, on phone, or whatever it might be. We're asking these folks to enter the contest. I'll give you a website in a minute. There is no charge to enter, thanks to our sponsors. And then the contestant will receive a link where they can upload the video of them presenting their poem. We ask that it be original work only. So we're asking these young men and women to create their own Western themed cowboy poem, a rhyming verse that celebrates the cowboy or relates to the life of the American cowboy in some way. The winner will win a trophy buckle that looks very much like this. Will receive, and the top 3 placers actually will receive a certificate signed by the governor of Kansas and educational scholarships. The first prize was a $500 scholarship, second is $300, and third place earns a $200 educational scholarship for use in college or technical training, post-secondary education. So it's a great opportunity for young men and women to celebrate the cowboy life and do some cowboy poetry, have some fun, and be able to do it virtually. So the poems will be written by the student, presented and recorded, and then uploaded onto a link where the judges will evaluate and make the placings. So it's entirely virtual and digital, and it's the first time we've ever tried it. So encourage your kids and grandkids to enter the Cowboy Poetry Contest. And you can get all that information and entries and so forth, entry information on this website. There's 4 words: cowboypoetryyouthroundup.com. cowboypoetryyouthroundup.com. We encourage our young men and women to enter. Let me finish up this session of Lazy T Live with a poem in tribute to these youth organizations that have meant so much to us, 4-H and FFA. As a farm kid growing up, a great thing I remember was the time I spent as a 4-H and FFA member. My older brothers joined 4-H, and so I tagged along. And when I was old enough, I also could belong. I learned the 4-H motto, to make the best better. And through the 4-H pledge, the meaning of every letter. I learned that the H's stood for head, heart, hands, and health. I started little projects that could lead to growth and wealth. And when I got to high school, there came that wonderful day. I enrolled in ag education class and joined the FFA. That blue jacket would take me on a wondrous lifetime trip, learning ag careers in speaking, service, and leadership. I learned the motto, though that first speech nearly made me lose my nerve: learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve. Those lessons learned as a rural youth would serve throughout my life and later help my kids as they've helped me and my wife. We've seen a lot of changes in each youth organization. They help kids both urban and rural across the nation. So we thank all those ag teachers and club leaders in this way for helping boys and girls through 4-H and FFA. Thanks, folks, for joining us. Join us every Tuesday live at the Lazy T Ranch, 1 p.m. here on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Happy trails, and God bless.